So real estate is the only investment I can think of that can literally get covered in snow. I mean, look at this. Driveways get slippery, people can't get in and out, or maybe they slip and slide. And what if you have a tenant who slides on his driveway and bangs into the neighbor's car? Who's responsible? Will they sue you for it? Surely real estate has got a lot of challenges that you don't get with any other investment. In fact, I can think of 5 reasons why you should not invest in real estate. I think many of you know that I'm a big proponent of real estate, but regularly people come up with me with 5 reasons why they should not invest in real estate. And I want to explore them today and see if their reasoning has any merit. I think you'll find it very illuminating. So number 1, we all live busy lives, and people say to me, but Dolf, I simply don't have time for real estate. And here's my thinking on that. You know, humans are blessed with varying levels of talent and looks and intellect and drive and motivation and physical prowess. All of us, however, are given exactly 24 hours in a day. Even when you fly, east, and your day is being stretched and you think you've gained 3 hours, you've now got 27 hours. I've got news for you. When you come back, you lose the 3 hours you gained, and overall you will have had an average of 24 hours a day. So we have exactly the same time. And here's my question for you. If you knew beyond a shadow of doubt that you could make $20 million over the next 10 years just by putting in 3 hours a week, do you think you would find the time to do that? And I'm pretty sure the answer is yes. And here's the thing about real estate. Relative to the money that you make in the long haul, notice I'm saying the long haul, not this week, not this month, but in the long haul, the time required is ridiculously little. At what point are you going to say, okay, this is a trade-off? I don't buy the argument that you don't have enough time to do real estate. You can do it when you're on vacation. You can do it when you're not on vacation. You can do it wherever you are. You can do it anywhere in the world. If you're a physician or a dentist or a pilot, you just can't go to another country and start plying your trade. You have to sit and pass the local exams. But if you're a real estate, you can go to any country on this planet, almost without exception. And not only will they allow you to invest in real estate, but they will welcome you with open arms, thinking that you're probably bringing money to their country, even if you 100% finance it with local money. So the thing is, you can do this anywhere at any time, and it takes ridiculously few hours to make millions of dollars. Make sure you find the time, because it's singularly going to be the biggest thing that's going to benefit you financially in the future. The second compelling reason I get from people, or they think it's a compelling reason, why they shouldn't buy real estate is that all the good deals have gone. And this isn't just restricted to real estate. People who are single say, but all the good people are taken and all the good real estate deals are gone. And right now it's hard to get a secondhand car. They've gone up in price. All the good secondhand cars are gone. If you don't look because you think all the good ones are gone, then your theory that all the good ones are gone will be validated because you won't find any good ones. And I'm telling you, there are always 101 reasons why people will let a property go for below average value. And even if it is average, it can still be a good deal. And remember, I've got ways of increasing the value of a property beyond the cost of making an improvement so that you can turn an average or mediocre deal into an astounding deal. And despite that, if you look hard enough, you will find great deals because people sell for crazy reasons at below market value. They may not be aware of the prices. They may not want to engage the services of a real estate agent because they think, why should I pay some snooty-nosed 21-year-old agent who doesn't even live in the suburb 5% or 6% or 3% fee to sell my property? I know what it's worth. I'll sell it myself. Or they might just not have an idea what it's worth. They'll think it's worth $400,000, and they only paid $83,000 for it back in 1978. So they think they're ripping the buyer off by getting $400,000 when the market would show it's worth $500,000. There are always bargains, and if you think there are no good deals left, you won't find any because your theory will be validated. But if, on the other hand, you believe, like I do, that there are always great deals out there. In fact, my signature statement is the deal of the decade comes along about once a week. And if you think that the deal of the decade, by definition, comes along exactly every 10 years, then when you hear that I found a deal of the decade, a great deal, you'll stop looking for the next 9.9 years because you'll think I've got this decade's good deal. No, the deal of the decade comes along about once a week. Keep looking, you will find it. This is bogus, it is nonsense. There are great deals out there for you as well. The third common objection I get from people who vow that it is impossible for them to buy real estate is that they don't know if a property is a good deal. Well, let me tell you something. The effort you have to put into learning whether or not a property is a good deal is relatively simple. And to give it some perspective, I spent 8 years at university getting a PhD in electrical engineering, which many people will recognize is not the easiest subject out there. And by the way, everything I learned during that 8 years of hardcore electrical engineering has been made redundant by new technology. For instance, we learned the operating characteristics of valves, and I'm not talking about faucet-style valves, I'm talking about valve radio-style valves. Many of you haven't even heard of them. And that's all been replaced by transistors and integrated circuits and VLSI, very large-scale integrated circuits, on ASICs, application-specific integrated. You don't need to know any of that. Real estate, if it was a good deal 50 years ago, the same criteria could be used to figure out if it's a good deal today. You don't need to spend 8 years to learn the tools you need to figure out if a deal is a good deal. You just need to talk with some other real estate investors, look at what's out in the market, talk with some agents, join your local property investor school, watch some more videos, and you'll know whether it's a good deal or not. A good deal may come in many different forms. It could have large positive cash flow. It could have high potential for appreciation. By the way, usually those two are diametrically opposed, by which I mean when you've got high cash flow, it might have lower appreciation, and in an area where you've got high appreciation, the cash flow may be lower. That's why a property that is a great deal for you may be a different property from a property that is a great deal for me. Figure out what makes it a good deal for you. So you might have unique tax benefits. There might be massive depreciation that you can claim without it costing you any money. It might have a large amount of land that you can use to build something else on, or it might have the possibility for a use change, sometimes called a zone change, or it could be any combination of these things and other factors that can turn it into a great deal. Just be sure to do your research. I'll never forget, there was a building, it was a 14-story building in downtown Sydney, Australia, right by the railway station, and it was only 7% occupied. On the surface, it wouldn't seem like a good deal, but it did have a massive billboard on the roof, and that billboard could be seen by a street known as Broadway, which had about 80,000 cars go down it every day, and the rental income from that billboard was 513,000 Australian dollars. But at a cap rate of 10%, that billboard was worth $5 million. And it's just one of these things, if you didn't know about the value of billboards, then you wouldn't have recognized that as a good deal. There are great deals out there. If you don't know what constitutes a great deal, to me that makes it exciting. Figure out what makes it a good deal. And all you need to do is have a reason why it's a good deal for you beyond why it might have been a good deal for the seller. He'll sell it at what he thinks is a fair price, and for you it will be cheap. This is one of the great things of real estate. I don't buy the theory that you don't know if it's a good deal. It is so easy to find out. The fourth reason people give me why they can't buy real estate is prices are too high where they live. Well, I'm telling you, I've got an article, a very learned article from Time magazine that says the era of buying a home as an investment is over. And this article was published in Time magazine in 1947, when the average price was under $8,000 for a home. And I've got an article from Science Digest in 1969 saying that people who invest in real estate as an investment are doing the wrong thing because that era is over. Throughout history, you'll find pundits, learned people who've said that real estate is no longer a good investment, prices are too high. And yet the criterion you should consider is what proportion of the average salary is consumed by funding the acquisition of a home based on current mortgage interest rates and borrowing capacity and all that sort of thing. And affordability of homes has actually improved in the last 4 or 5 decades. It is easier for people to buy a home, and not only is it easier to buy a home, the home we live in today compared with the quality of a home we lived in 40 years ago, it's night and day. We have dual glazed windows, we have air conditioning instead of swamp coolers, we have all these features and facilities that didn't exist before. So I don't buy that prices are too high. In fact, it gets better than that, or worse, depending on your perspective. High prices indicate high appreciation in the past. And when it comes to real estate, usually this is an indicator of what might happen in the future. To give you an example, the two cities in the United States that have been at the top of the rankings of growth for the last 50 years, not 50 minutes, 50 years, have been Las Vegas, Nevada, and Phoenix, Arizona. And I wouldn't bet my life on it that for the next 10 years they're going to be close to numbers 1 and 2, but I'll bet money on it because things are very slow to change in the real estate world. Unlike, say, the stock market, where things are much more volatile, they go up and down, sometimes by the day, sometimes by the hour. That's not to say you can't do well in the stock market. Some people do extraordinarily well. But for me, I don't want to have to watch it by the day or by the hour. And I know that if a city's done well in the past, it will do well in the future. When I started investing in Las Vegas, the population there was 800,000, and the average home value was just around $100,000. And now, not that many years later, it's about 16 years later, the population has doubled, it's more than doubled, and house prices have literally gone through the roof. So I like high prices because when I get a mortgage, I get a percentage. I try and get 80%. I actually try and get 100%. So it doesn't matter what the absolute value is. It's like saying you shouldn't invest in Indonesia because properties cost billions there, not billions of dollars, but their local currency, rupiah. It doesn't matter what the number of units of currency is. It's just, can you get a loan for that, and can you come up with a down payment if a down payment is required? Furthermore, banks tend to lend more in expensive areas, and rents are also higher. It's all about yield. Would you rather buy a $50,000 property that's only returning 2% or a $500,000 property that's returning 12%, especially if it has a greater chance of appreciation? It's all relative. Don't be freaked out by the numbers. Remember those articles from Time Magazine and Science Digest and Business Week? They all stated that the era of buying real estate as an investment was over, and today nothing could be further from the truth. Probably in 20 years' time, people are going to look back and say, what, the median price is about $320,000 now? That is so cheap compared with what it will be then. Just have the courage to take action. And remember, courage doesn't mean having no fear. Courage means acting despite your fear. The fifth reason that people give me as to why they can't buy a piece of real estate is they don't know how to get started. Well, I've got news for you. You've come to the right place, because this channel is all about help, giving you the confidence and the certainty and the ideas and the stimulus to go out there and find a deal. Because real estate is extraordinarily forgiving of mistakes, even if you happen to make a mistake. And most people I know, they regret the property that they didn't buy, but they don't regret the property that they did buy. And if they do regret a property that they bought, it's not that they bought it, they regret having sold it. They'll tell me, Dolf, I bought it for $200,000, which seemed like a lot of money back then, but I was offered $350,000. That's $150,000 profit. I've never made that much more money before. Of course I sold it, and what a fool I am, because today that same property is worth $630,000. If only I'd hung on to it. Not could I have made only could I have made a lot more money, but I would have had rental income in the interim. So just go out there and do it. Look online for homes for sale around you. And if you don't know whether or not it's a good deal, you've found your next topic of research. There's an imminent zone change. Is that good or bad? If you don't know the answer, talk with someone who does. Any agent or real estate investor or someone with some experience will tell you that in all probability, that's a great deal. When there is a zone change, values tend to go up a lot. There are great deals out there. All you have to do is get the enthusiasm, go out there and find it and do it. Because we have a saying, when you catch fire with enthusiasm, people come from miles around to watch you burn. Just do it, folks. In my sphere of influence, I get a lot of people to say, listen, I love what I'm seeing. I want to do this. I want to learn how, but I don't quite know. Will you show me how? Can we do a deal with you? Well, I don't make a habit of making all my deals available to people, but from time to time we have a program whereby people participate, they learn the ropes, and they see what we do, because I truly do believe that the deal of the decade comes along about once a week. It's a matter of recognizing it. It's a matter of seeing what can we do to this deal to make it an astounding success. Do we need to get an extra tenant here? Do we need to remodel it? Do we need to get a zone change? When you participate with us, you will see how it's done so that you can do it on your own as well. If this interests you at all, click the link below to find out what it takes to partner with me on some of these deals. We have to conform to certain financial regulations, of course, but when you do that, you will learn firsthand how these deals are done and how you absolutely don't always need money or good credit to do these things. Click the link below and let's get connected. Thank you again for watching. I have this theory that you never learn less. So I tend to read a lot of books. I listen to a lot of people. I have a lot of discussions. I have a lot of meetings. I go to a lot of events. And I really appreciate it when you're watching because it shows me that you're keen to go to the next level. You're keen to learn. When you're enjoying things, make sure you click the subscribe button because that gives us the feedback as to what it is you want to learn more about. I'm all about sharing. I've been blessed. I've had lots of great things happen to me because I got involved in real estate. And I just want to share the enthusiasm because I think in general, real estate is not promoted as much as it should be relative to other investment vehicles. Whereas in my belief, it is singularly the best investment to get into for the long run. So thank you for being here. If you enjoyed this at all, you've got to check out my next video because I think you're really going to like that one.